Hey guys, Brad here. Today, let's take a look at the VEVOR portable blower slash ventilator. Just to let you know, VEVOR sent this to us to do an honest review, and I've always wanted one of these. I do a lot of painting, I do a lot of renovations, and having something like this, I think, is key to keeping fresh air either coming into the house or expelling dirty air. I'm going to take a good look at this thing, show you how it works, and give you my honest review. For starters, this is a 10-inch ventilator. They're giving us a 5-meter pipe, nice and expandable. It has these hooks on it, which I like because you can hang this from something. A lot of the times when I'm running like a frostfighter heater, I want to be able to hang my pipe up. And the problem with that is when I put a bungee cord around it, it kind of compresses the inside. This one, however, has hooks right on the metal ring, so it won't compress the actual vent. You know, if I was to put a bungee around here, it would kind of shrink it down. So I really like that. I think it's a great thought. You could run rope through it just to kind of suspend it. So 5 meters, roughly 15 feet-ish. We've got a little expandable end here, which wraps around the actual unit itself, and it just ties on. So nothing fancy, pretty basic. We'll tie this on in a second, and it only ties on to the end with the big flange. This side here doesn't have a flange. This is the intake, the smaller side. This is where the air is coming in, and this is the side it's going out. I really want to be able to bring fresh air into a home as opposed to wanting to suck stuff out. Personally, for me, I don't want to be expelling dust out of a house into the atmosphere in a community. I think if I was to do that, maybe a pro tip is take a furnace filter and put it on this side. Nothing with a small micron, just your real basic furnace filter to capture that dust. You might want to build a little bit of a wood frame around it or something so it doesn't get all sucked in here. But I would suggest doing a furnace filter on this side in the house, sucking that, say, drywall dust or maybe some paint overspray. It would go into the filter, and then the air goes out a window or out a door. Typically when I'm spraying things, I have 3 square fans that I tape furnace filters to, and that works out pretty well. The only problem with it is the fans aren't as powerful as this. This here is spinning at 2,800 to 3,300 revolutions per minute. So that's a lot faster than, you know, my little square fans. It's 110 volts, 320 watts. Now they say this thing is 60 decibels for noise. I'm gonna have to disagree with that a little bit. I think it's a little bit louder than that. I wear earplugs with this because it is kind of loud. For bringing air into a house, you can leave it outside, it's not gonna bug you. But if you're inside, I think you might wanna wear earplugs with it. Now guys, if you're enjoying the video, please subscribe, hit that notify bell, give me a thumbs up. Yeah, it's really easy to use. There's just an on-off switch right here. You've got a D handle, carry it around. It's pretty light, and it's, you know, just flick it on and away you go. Let's just strap this on here, and you just wrap it around. It's really easy. Just like that. Cinch it up, and then we'll just tie a knot or just a simple shoelace bow here. Boom. And that's it. You can stretch this sucker all the way out, and then we can just turn it on. All right, guys, so I'm just gonna flick this on. Make sure you don't have your volume turned up too high because it might be a little loud. So you just flick it on. And that's it. I mean, obviously you can't feel the air. So I'm gonna set this up in a job site so we can kind of see how this looks all stretched out. All right guys, so in this job site, we're doing a bunch of drywalling. So this fan is perfect for in here because if it gets too dusty, we could just expel that dust. However, I do recommend putting a furnace filter on the front of this so we're not polluting the entire neighborhood. But this is a typical setup of what you would see this thing set up like. So we've got the 10-inch pipe running along, going out a window. Now, if you wanted to take this to another level, we could open this window right up, and we could put a board here and cut a hole and have it right in that board, or a piece of styrofoam, something like that, making sure we're not damaging the window. But this is just a real rough basic setup of how I would do this. Again, we've got these hooks, which we can hang this unit from if we really wanted to. And then just to turn it on, there's just a button right here. We just give it a flick. And that's it. Now this unit expels 43 cubic meters of air per minute. So that's a ton of air being sucked out of here and going outside. With that in mind, make sure you have a window or a door open somewhere else, because you don't want to create a negative pressure in the house and have problems that way. So keep that in mind, because if you are, say, putting up a wall there and you just have the air being sucked out, you could actually cause an issue with the furnace and start pulling, you know, gas fumes in or gas itself into the house. So make sure you've got another area open to exchange that air with. Super important. The cable on this is pretty short, so you're gonna definitely need an extension cord. It's only, I don't know, 3-4 feet long, but this is such a perfect tool to have if you're a renovator. Let's say you're doing a basement and you're doing a bunch of jackhammering. You've got that horrible dust coming up and you're putting in a new bathroom or something. This would be perfect, because you could suck out that dirty dust, or you could bring in fresh air. You could get 2 of these and do an exchange. There's a lot of value to something like this in the job site. Expelling exhaust out of a garage, maybe you've got smells. The only thing I would be very careful about is aerosols, things like that that are explosive. I wouldn't want that going through here. I don't think it's necessarily designed for that. Be really careful with explosive things like lacquer. That's a big one that you have to be very careful with when you're dealing with fans and electricity and all that. You also want to make sure that your extension cord has a ground on it. This is grounded. It even says in the instructions, make sure it's grounded. You don't want that static electricity building up. So make sure your ground is intact on that extension cord, because we know how they always break off. Make sure it's there, because you want this puppy grounded. On the bottom, we've got some rubber pads right here. If you really wanted to, you could screw this down to a piece of wood, you know, have it permanently mounted somewhere. You could mount it up on a ceiling. You know, there's all kinds of things you could do with this to, you know, work in your shop or whatever you're doing. It's got metal grate on the front. It's all screwed in. And the back side here, same thing, nice metal grate. The overall height of the unit is about 13 3/4. This face is 13 inches. The back side though, we're looking at about 11 inches, and front to back is about 13 1/4 inches. There's some dimensions for you if you want to fit this into something. There you go. All right guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope I answered any questions. If you do have any questions though, please leave some comments down below. I'd love to hear from you. Have you used this? What's your experience? Or do you have any questions about it? Would you like me to show you something else in a different video perhaps? Yeah, I'm just super stoked that I've got this, and it's definitely gonna help me out in the renovation world. All right guys, till next time, keep on crushing it, and we'll catch you later.